Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader. It's Tuesday night, July the 17th. These are the charts of the day at thetechtrader.com. And briefly on the long side, we're going to show 10, 11 stocks here that acted well today. And again, several of them were biotech, but a few of them weren't. And then we'll take a look at, starting off with AFMAX, AFFY, another 68 cents higher or 4%, 1.4 million traded. And the stock edged out above this here to get to a new high across 17. Looks to me like we're going to test this lateral resistance. Now, if we go back, you'll see why I drew that line. And we're going back on a weekly chart. That's way back in here. There is some resistance. We get through here, we could see the stock get into the mid-20s, and that would not shock me. But let's start with trying to get through that level, which is up around the 17.75 range. And if we get through that, look for some additional movement into the low 20s, perhaps. ETRM doing very well, and Pedics, we pointed out, had broken out and it formed a wedge here for about a month, and then broke out 3 weeks ago, pulled back, popped to resistance, and backed off and went blew through it. Today jumped 13%, 13 cents or 3%, 861,000 shares of pickup in volume as the stock's moving higher. Now, what I want to see is the stock test the top of the channel here around the 4.5 range. That should happen tomorrow, and then maybe lateral resistance up around the 485 zone could be tested. But through that, we can see this thing spike up towards 5.5 or 6. FTEK, significant day today, is it announced a $36 million contract. The stock popped 82 cents or 18% on 600,000. That's good volume for that stock. And you can see after the move up to resistance, it pulled back very gentle in here, held the 50-day moving average, and today popped across resistance. And I'm looking for a move up near the $6 range short term. Should it get through these two lines, next target is 690 or thereabout at these tops up here, 690. Yeah, so right up here is my swing trade target. IMAX, little head and shoulder pattern here, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and broke through the neckline today, popping on 3.7 million shares, about 5%, or $1.22. There is some resistance up near the March highs around 26.5. If we get through that, I'm expecting this to move into up near 30 and then maybe even 33 on an intermediate basis. Here's your top of the channel target up on the mid-30s actually, which would then potentially test this area from 2011's high up around 37. ISIS, some of the biotechs are acting great. I just wanted to show you how fantastic this has been acting. Look at this rising channel, tight and steady. Not particularly strong technicals, but still a very steady move. The pullback last week to 1235 held for 2 days, and that's moved right back up again, targeting around 15 short term, 17 secondary target. KOGG had a significant pop today. Let me clean this up for you real quickly. And you'll see that significance of today's action was that this little congestion range or consolidation in here was taken out with a thrust today as the stock expanded its volume to 9.3 million, the biggest in a couple weeks. Now, it did get up to this line and tested it and backed off to close at 907. The resistance up there is around 920. If you take a look at what that line means, that's this congestion range in here. If you get through that, I would not be shocked to see this move up to test 10 and then 1065, my swing trade target. But I believe ultimately this is a $15 to $18 stock. Another junior biotech acting great is LXRX. And if you take a look at the way this has acted here, it popped through resistance there, flagged for 4 or 5 days, broke out to resistance, pulled back for another 4 or 5 days, and broke out again. Looks like we're headed for 3 3/4. It shouldn't take too long, but that is key overhead resistance. Let's go to a weekly chart and check that out, and you'll see that on a longer term basis, there's some significant resistance up there, so that 3 3/4 could be a short-term resistance enough to thwart any further advances, but secondary target around 5 and a long-term target 7.5. OMEX, perhaps a significant day today. This is the exploration, shipwreck, diving, and salvaging company. You can see on the daily chart that after this falling wedge here, it popped to resistance, pulled back, then broke out and retested, got up to resistance and retested, and today had a significant breakout that took it. You notice that that line held the trend line. And today OMEX and a significant surge up and through lateral price resistance to get to the top of the parallel channel. Now, should we get some extended movement here, we may very well see that, well, you can see that this is resistance here from the June 2011 high. So let's step back to a weekly chart, and you'll see that the intermediate pattern right here is significant in that the key resistance in that zone maybe is being tested. And should that break out, I wouldn't be surprised to see this get up near 7. So this could be an interesting swing trade going forward. We'll keep an eye on it for you. PPHM doing very well also, another junior biotech that's spiking. But I'll give you a caution on this one, as it's already moved from 45.50 cents up to $1.38 today. And look at the spike high from December where it traded up to $1.53. Today's high, $1.38. Now there may be some additional momentum-based movement, but I have to tell you that I'm looking for some consolidation or pullback in this zone. But momentum's a funny thing. You never know how long it's going to last. Stem cell had a huge day today, 107%. A monster move on this stock on 17 million shares nearly traded, up 93 cents to do $1.80. A major move to say the least, breaking it out over the lateral price resistance, filling the gap, and even taking out secondary resistance. Next targets are 2 and then 250, 205 and 250. And lastly, today's THRX, which continues to move very, very well. Take a look at this head and shoulders pattern. Big base here can support a huge move. It is above the double top here. We may see some additional momentum, but at some point soon we may get some pullback retest. I keep an eye on this one though. Longer term, it looks terrific. That's it for tonight. You guys have a good one and good luck tomorrow.